You guys ready to start?
Okay.
Ready?
West.
I'd like to call this meeting to order. Can you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Where'd you go?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Adequate notice of this meeting was advertised in the Asbury Park Press and the Beacon on January 9th, 2025, and by posting the notice in the Forked River and Lenoka Harbor post offices, and by filing a copy of the notice at the Lacey Township Clerk as requested by the Open Public Meeting Act. Roll call, please.
Mr. Armato?
Here.
Mr. Peters? Absent. Mr. Bell?
Here.
Mrs. Armato?
Here.
Mrs. Walker?
Here.
Mr. Conity?
Here.
And Mrs. Claus?
Here.
Okay, we're going to go into executive session. Be it resolved, an executive session be convened for the purpose of discussing confidential student matters, including but not limited to harassment, intimidation, and bullying, confidential legal matters, including but not limited to the current caseload, and confidential personnel matters. The subject matter of these discussions will be disclosed to the public when the reason for confidentiality subsides. The length of the executive session is estimated to be approximately 60 minutes, after which the board shall reconvene and proceed with business at 7 p.m. Action may be taken. Motion?
I'll move.
Motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good. Okay, we're going to resume the meeting. We're just going to go right into public comment. An audience member wishing to make a public comment will raise his or her hand, and when called upon, state their name, address, or affiliation and intention to make a statement. Comments will be addressed to the board president. Comments will be made one issue at a time. Comments will be limited to 5 minutes. No audience member shall be recognized twice until all who have wished to comment have been recognized. The portion of this meeting is for public comment only. There will be no questions answered. The purpose of this board meeting is to perform our business in public. Everyone is entitled to a public comment. If there is a question for the board, there's an established chain of command. Would anybody like to speak? Go ahead, you can go.
Tony Rizzoli. I'm from many different towns, but I guess tonight I'll say I'm from here. I wasn't going to come back and start off by being very negative, which I think I should be, but I won't. But I do have some concerns. I've been following the meetings online while I'm out of state, and some things really bothered me. And one of the things that bothered me, right off the bat, I'd like to address is policy number 5512, which is your harassment, intimidation, and bullying policy. At the top of the 25 pages of this policy, it says for students. I kind of don't agree with that. I think that the policy and all the things that are stated on the 25 pages can apply not only to students, but to all employees of the district. And on some occasions, might even have applied to members of the board, although members of the board are elected, and I appreciate their service, so I kind of wouldn't include them. But any employee of the district, besides students, should also suffer consequences negatively if they intimidate, coerce, or do something to negatively affect a student, maybe through just intimidation. Now, having been a taxpayer in this town for over 40 years, I've talked to many students' parents all through these years. And it has come to my attention on many occasions that when people come and speak at this microphone and speak to the board about something negative that affects their child or affects the board, or speak negatively about employees of the district who are members of the LTA or any of the other union organizations, their children suffer intimidation, okay, negatively in school. That's wrong. If I come up and I have a belief, whether I'm a parent or not, my child should not be put on the spot because I don't happen to agree with you, members of the board, or the position of a communist organization, one for all for one, which is a labor union. Okay? That's what it is. It's one for all and all for one. Same rotten deal for everybody. That's what a labor union is, if you think about it. So if they don't agree with what is said here, why should their child suffer without any repercussions? It should be the same rotten deal for all. And I'd like to see that changed, the wording in that policy. And I know it's not going to be, only because maybe you're fearful of what's going to happen in retaliation to you or to this district. That's number one. Number two, you can cut me off on my 5 minutes or I'll come back gladly. I'd like to know the number of students currently enrolled. And I apologize. I did not know there was not going to be a hard copy outside of the agenda. So I have no way of adding up. I know this is normally done in May. This is June because your budget didn't pass. So all the numbers are in the June agenda, and I don't have access to it. So I'd like to know, what's the enrollment? We're not going to get an answer. We're going to keep it
How many
secret.
What, the
kids are
number?
enrolled in our district?
That's what I asked.
4,030.
4,030.
Yes. It includes all the academies, all our preschool, all of our buildings.
Okay, now that does not, that also includes out-of-district students, correct?
Just the academies. And the out-of-district kids who are placed out of district.
All right, so it's about 39.
33.
33. Okay. If it's
We've reduced that
33,
number over time.
now, the next question is, how many employees are employed by the district? Full-time, part-time, that are servicing these 3,300 students. That includes the members of both unions, or 3 unions, the administrators union, the LTEA, the union for the special ed kids, the cafeteria workers, the bus drivers, the custodians, full-time and part. How many employees do we employ
Right,
to
so
service? I'll be back.
So, Mr. Rizzoli, before you sit down, call my office.
Yeah.
We'll give you exact numbers of what
I'm
you
not
see.
going to come
Mr.
to your
Rizzoli.
office, sir.
Okay.
I'd like to-
Because you
I'd
never
like to know
call
the
my
number.
office, so you can
You
call
don't know
mine.
the number?
Mr. Rizzoli,
This is public comment,
this
it's
is for
not back
public
and forth
comment, no questions
questioning. If
asked.
you have a question for the board,
you.
if you call them, they will answer any question. I appreciate the superintendent giving a point of information, but this isn't back and forth. I know,
Would anybody else
we're
like
just
to have
following the
a
law.
public comment? Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Jen Bentley. I am a teacher at Lenoka Harbor School, and I am the LTA Vice President. Good evening. I'm happy to share with you many good things that have been happening in our schools in May and June. The LTA would like to acknowledge all the good things that are happening with our students, and it is awesome to share some of this news with you and celebrate their achievements. To begin, we would like to give a huge shout out to the Lacey Township class of 2025. Please know that the entire LTA is proud of all of you and wish you the very best of luck in the next chapter of your life. The seniors have enjoyed many wonderful events over the past couple of weeks, like the Mr. Lacey contest, prom, senior fun day at Gilly Park, and a trip to the boardwalk and seaside. Over $430,000 was awarded to seniors at scholarship night, so thank you to all the generous donors. The LTA was able to give out $2,000 in scholarships, which was raised by members at various functions during the school year. In addition, we awarded the first Julie Basante Memorial Scholarship in the amount of $1,700. She was a teacher that just passed away this year. Forked River School is having a senior walk on June 19th at 10:30 a.m. When students arrive, they will be handed a name sign with their name on it so they can be recognized after all these years. Students will parade through the halls as the current Forked River School students line the hallways. There will be a 4th grade yearbook photo printed on a large banner by the main entrance of Forked River School. At the conclusion of the senior walk, Tom and Dee's will be providing ices for the graduates of LTHS, and the students will enjoy them in the gym as well. Seniors will also be parading in the hallways at Cedar Creek School and Lenoka Harbor School, and we can't wait to see them. The first grade classes at Cedar Creek School presented a beautiful Flag Day program. First graders dressed in red, white, and blue and decorated the multipurpose room. They then sang a variety of songs and told the school about the history of the flag. The fourth graders at Cedar Creek School are spending their last few days together sharing their talents with their classmates and teaching lessons to their classmates. 75 Forked River School students completed the hand-only CPR training for the Kids Heart Challenge. In addition, Forked River School placed in the top 15 schools in New Jersey for raising the most money for the Kids Heart Challenge. Their grand total was $25,500. Forked River School hosted a very successful field day for grades 1 through 4, as well as a 5th grade farewell field day. The Forked River Schools Hero Club raised a total of $249 for the Forked River Volunteer Fire Department through a recent fundraiser. The Forked River School Heroes wanted to donate to the heroes in our community. Lenoka Harbor School just hosted a school-wide book blast. This program was designed to put books in the hands of all the students in grades 1 through 5. Due to generous donations and sponsors, 1,900 books were distributed to our students and $3,000 was raised for books for the classroom. In fact, some of our Lenoka Harbor students are here, right? That was awesome. It was like Christmas. In addition, a team of our 5th grade gifted and talented students played second in the region in the stock market game competition. Pen pals in Mrs. Bentley's and Mrs. Cook's class met with their Forked River pen pals in Mrs. Weaver and Mrs. Bergama's class last week. The students had been writing letters back and forth all year and were finally able to meet their pen pals in person. We had a popsicle party and enjoyed playing an icebreaker game and board games together. LHS would like to give a super shout out to all of our students who completed over 100 skills in IXL for the school year, and that's a huge feat. It's a reading, language, and math program that they work with online, and they were treated to Chick-fil-A meal coupons, so I think that kind of motivated them. Our little friends at Mill Pond enjoyed an end-of-the-year luau. Kids enjoyed games, special treats, and shared lots of smiles with their families. Kindergartners will be attending an awards ceremony this week, and they are wrapping up the school year with the kindergarten ABC countdown. The students will have something special to do every day until the last day of school. The National Junior Honor Society had a terrific induction ceremony at the middle school on June 3rd, where 53 new 7th and 8th grade members were inducted. The National Honor Society President, Christian Totola, was also honored that evening. Christian is one of only 500 students nationwide to receive the National Junior Honor Society Outstanding Service Scholarship. Great start for an 8th grader who's already on his path to college, and my former 3rd grade student. We would also like to give a tremendous shout out, and I don't think she's here, to Mrs. Penny Burr and Mrs. Jody Hughes. This past Saturday, Penny and her daughter Emma attended a luncheon hosted at the NJEA headquarters in Trenton to receive a grant they were awarded for next year. Jody and Penny were one of the 17 winners who received the NJ HIP grant in New Jersey. They will be creating an inclusive sensory space in Lenoka Harbor School, and this is awesome news for our students and school district. The spring sports programs, marching band, and chorus all wrapped up their 2025 with award programs and banquets. I just have a little more. Thank you, Gum. Congratulations on all your hard work and determination and accomplishments. And lastly, we would like to wish all our retirees the very best of luck in their future endeavors. We truly appreciate the time, energy, and dedication you have shown at Lacey, and you will be missed. So I just wanted to say to everybody, thank you for allowing the LTA to share their good news all year, and we look forward to doing it next year.
Thank you. That's great. Anybody else? Nope. Go ahead. Well, you're standing. You can go. Did you want to go? Oh, go ahead. Can you go to the podium? Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Jennifer Verge, and this is Vanessa Entile and Katie Ryder. We are first grade teachers at Lenoka Harbor School. There are many positive things that are happening in our district, but we wanted to put the spotlight on our first graders. The first graders in our 3 classrooms are now published authors. Each one of our classes wrote a book, and the books were published by a company called Student Treasures. The books were about what the students want to learn when they grow up or their favorite memory of first grade. The kids wrote heartfelt paragraphs and then made beautiful illustrations to go with their writings. Their writings were extremely meaningful. One student is blind, and his writing was completed in Braille. He wrote about wanting to be an author and writing a book called Shane and His Cane, where he will write about how he learned to use his cane and to read Braille. Another student who just came to America in November wrote about learning his colors, learning how to read, and making friends. Another student wrote about enjoying making apple-scented Play-Doh in science. This past Friday, we had a publishing party where the kids dressed their best. We decorated our hallway with stars, rolled out a red carpet for the kids to walk on, and shared writing samples from our school year. We celebrated their writing successes. These young authors read their pages to their class and family members, and they were filled with so much pride. We just wanted you to know about their successes too. We are extremely proud of them and their hard work that they put into these books. And we have a few young authors in the audience tonight. Can you boys stand? Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you.
Thank you. That was amazing.
Thank you.
That's great.
Congratulations. Thanks. Would anybody else like to have a public comment?
to read the whole thing.
Hi, my name is Kira. I'm a third grader in Mrs. Cook's class at Lenoka Harbor School. I just want to thank the board for approving the school budget for next year. I love my school and my teachers. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ray. I'm in first grade at Lenoka Harbor School. My favorite learning activity this year was during enrichment with Miss Snover. We did an egg drop. My egg survived. I hope to have enrichment again next year. Thank you for approving the school budget.
Thank you very much. That was a great job.
Nice job, guys.
Who wants to follow that act? Okay, good.
Yeah, following that one, I'm never good on timing. Frank Papalia from Landlac Drive, Lenoka Harbor. Just want to, I do this every year. At the end of every year, I always say thank you to our teachers. We've had a really good run since my son has been in school, and now my daughter. So it's been a really incredible year. And I just want to talk, there was a moment a month or so ago that kind of got to me. I took my kids to Bring Your Kid to Work Day in my district. And as I toured the 4 buildings in our district, at the end of the day, they kind of said, why can't we have this stuff? And it hit hard, you know, because there's not a really good answer to give them. But there was one thing that kind of like rung out. Like they were talking about technology and some of the science labs and stuff. And I said, what a credit to the teachers that they don't realize what they're missing. They're so creative. They've come up with so many different differentiated models and lessons to make them, you know, to inspire them. And I thought it was really important to say that tonight because I come to almost every meeting. I sit in the back and I listen. And I said, you know what? I really should say this out in public. So I just want to take a minute to just acknowledge some of the really cool things that they have done this year. My daughter Emily is with me today. She's a first grader in Miss Casaletto's class. And my first inkling of Miss Casaletto was our neighbor as a first grader coming home on the last day of school, sobbing, getting off the bus, and wondering if she's all right. She just didn't want to leave Miss Casaletto's class. Well, 12 months later, my son came off the bus crying because she made that kind of an impact. And I'm sure a week from now, Emily will feel the same way. Emily has grown so much in that class through all the cool lessons. She is a teacher. She comes home and teaches us. We talk about how to change words around, and even just now, she was using, we have to use silly snake, and we extend the words. And Emily has told me she wants to be a teacher when she grows up. My daughter Ava is a different student. She has a lot of energy. She has a lot of personality. But in Dr. Clancy and Ms. Bodeheimer, she's found somebody that's able to channel that and really turned into growth. And she has grown so much this year. It's something that makes us as parents really proud, because in our household, we take a lot of pride and put a huge emphasis on education, accountability, and integrity. And I've seen her grow so much. Dr. Clancy has given up her lunch and prep to work with her to help read. And now when she comes home and reads, she's really proud to show off what she's learned. And our son, James, who's had just an incredible run here. He recently published his 3rd book. He's working on his 4th. And really and truly, he has been inspired every single year. This year, he has Mr. Carter. And for somebody like James, who is extremely hardworking, he pushes himself. Nobody's harder on him than himself. Mr. Carter's the perfect match. He comes home and quotes Mr. Carter now, talking about good body language, how to be a leader. And I actually send messages to Mr. Carter from time to time to say, just so you know, this impact is you're making an impact on him. Even watching the Knicks, I'm like, you don't even like basketball, but he wanted to do that for him. But just that leadership and pushing him. And James is a high achiever, but he's really brought him to a different level. These teachers are at every sporting event throughout the years, football, basketball. When they did literacy night, James presented. They were all there on their own time to do so. This is not something we ask them to do. They just do it because that's who they are as people. You can see our kids aren't just happy. Their test scores are up in our household. Obviously we put a huge emphasis on that as parents, but it wouldn't be there without the great differentiated lessons that they're getting. They have a love of learning. They have a love of learning new things. There's intellectual curiosity that's not only from parents, but it's taught from the teachers, right, in their lessons. I'll be remiss not to say how much I appreciate Ms. Nemick, our principal. Her leadership has really created a great culture. My son went to the class trip the other day at the Field of Dreams, which he absolutely loved, and he's been talking about it ever since and the joy that it brought those students. I think that all of my kids feel connected. I see every day when I do get a chance to pick them up, she has a word for every student that comes out. She has some kind of handshake and some kind of interpersonal relationship. And I think that's really neat. And I'll leave you with this as a thought. So my son has been really blessed to meet a lot of really cool people over the last couple of years when he's been writing. Historians, authors, people on TV, Mrs. Eisenhower, all these different people, right? And when he did his 3rd book and he was going to write his foreword, I said, who do you want to write it? Thinking it's going to be somebody cool. And he said, Dad, I want Miss Nemick to write it because she's made a huge impact in my life. And really and truly, education is about more than just reading out of a book or a slide. It's really about those interpersonal connections that we all make. It's about inspiring. And through my time here with our kids, I have seen it. So I just want to say thank you to those teachers for that. And I'll yield back the balance of my time. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment before we go to the second round? Go ahead, Regina.
The handout I left for the board will start to make sense in a couple of minutes. Tonight, Regina DeSenza, Sunset Drive, Sunrise Beach. I'd like to talk for a couple of minutes about my nightmare years on the Lacey School Board. In 2014, I made a conscious effort to get elected to the school board. I think I had been on the ballot 9 times. I ran because no one else would run but the incumbents. And I was tired of the same old regime. Yes, Miss Downing Walker, I mean you and your old cohorts. I knew I would not be welcome on the board. I was the unsanctioned outsider. I was treated much the same way Mr. and Mrs. Armato are being treated today. Saying no to anything makes you an outcast here. I fully accepted that before I got elected. During my first term, I managed just fine. I took every NJSBA training course I could in their board member academy. I attended local meetings, county meetings, state meetings, and the annual NJSBA workshops. Almost no other board member from Lacey ever bothered to do so on a regular basis, not even our 33-year board member, not 33-year-old. We all wish we were. Then my second term happened, and I didn't expect it, although I did run, but I was hoping Amanda Buron would win. God rest her soul. Circumstances changed and she had to drop out of the race. Mr. Giordano and I were not on the same page. He was not happy when I arrived back on the board after a one-year break. That was the year Vanessa got hired in 2018. In November 2019, the usual three BOE seats were up for election, and I had found 3 willing candidates that made a great team, known as Team 147, which was their ballot positions. I actively campaigned for the non-incumbents. Mr. Giordano was not at all pleased. He knew perfectly well that if Team 147 had won that election, I would have had control of the school board. Most people in town were able to figure that out, and it was creating a lot of dissension. And that's really what led to the 5 years of ethics charges and huge legal fees. Political differences caused extreme dissension. And what was it about? It was all about money. Mr. Giordano was very good at spending the public's money the district didn't have by negotiating unsustainable union contracts, which I now claim helped bring us to today's budget crisis. The money situation took 10 years to implode, and now it has. Mr. Giordano became slightly irritated when Mr. Rossi and I publicized his personal IRS lien of over $30,000. My advice to him is, know thy public records. Mr. Rossi also got a copy of Mr. Giordano's divorce decree, but that was overkill. However, I did read it out of curiosity. Isn't it a pity that more than $250,000 in legal fees went for ethics charges? Worse yet, I've said it before, and so did the judge at an appeal hearing June 3rd, yes, just 2 weeks ago. Mr. Giordano could have called a special meeting for free and discussed his issues with me in public, but he didn't. He chose to work behind my back. 5 years later, Mr. Giordano's attorneys have cost nearly $200,000. My legal fees were substantially less since I used an experienced ethics attorney from the New Jersey Schools Insurance Group. To add insult to injury, Mr. Giordano enlisted the help of Mrs. Peggy Sue Giuliano, current Lacey committeewoman, in his ethics quest against me, and she complied. Commandment number 9, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. And Peggy did just that. She wrote a statement for Mr. Giordano claiming that on election night 2019, I went to the Murray Grove polling site and demanded results on behalf of the board. Hell would freeze over before I would do any such favor for the board. She knew that perfectly well, that I had requested machine tapes on behalf of Team 147. And I even stated the names, Marcatello, Rossi, and Armato. Sal and Cheryl ended up testifying at my hearing last year that the team sent me to Murray Grove that night. Numerous people were inconvenienced for their testimony that day. Peggy Sue, under oath, testified to the judge when he asked if she, Mrs. Quist, and Veronica LeRae discussed the case on the ride to the hearing. After a little stammering, Peggy told the judge, well, we all thought it was a waste of our time. I cringed when she said this to His Honor, who requested that hearing due to the inconsistencies in her statement and now her testimony. The transcript is available to anyone upon request. I need 1 second.
Go ahead.
It might be online, but I don't know where to find it. It's all public information now that the case is done. I have provided a copy of the false statement to all board members. It is Exhibit F on case C-7519, initiated by Sean Giordano, Skip Peters, Linda Downing Walker, Nick Morandi, and Donna McAvoy. Over $5,000 in legal fees alone was wasted on that one hearing for the false statement by Mrs. Giuliano. For the record, several members of the public are watching carefully for current and future ethics violations, and we will take action as needed. So now you're on notice, and Mr. Peters is our latest violator who has been formally served. And I will not take credit for that. I wasn't even in the country when Gavin wrote it, so good luck.
Thank you.
Anybody else like to have a public comment? Go ahead.
Hi, Marissa Maslin, Maxim Drive. I'm also a teacher at Cedar Creek, and I just wanted to add one other amazing thing that happened on Friday. Some of our Cedar Creek students were able to visit the Field of Dreams, which is an incredible and inclusive playground for individuals with disabilities in Toms River. We were able to bring 12 4th and 5th grade Lion helpers that visited our classrooms weekly throughout the year on the trip with us to act as peer models. They were so respectful and helpful that even the founder of the park commented on the success of Cedar Creek's Lion Helper program. And I just wanted to give them some recognition for everything that they did in their role as Lion Helpers at Cedar Creek.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Linda Miller, Forkett River. These board meetings make me nervous. Okay, all the wonderful things happening in this school happens in many other schools with a sensible, balanced budget. First of all, I want to address Mr. Zielinski. Thanks for introducing school banding. Is that what it's called, banding?
Grade band.
Grade banding.
Grade banding, okay. It is successful in other schools. So maybe success is not important to some other people. Mr. and Mrs. Amato, thanking you for voting no for this egregious tax increase now imposed on the whole town. Sometimes I think we need another revolution. Mr. Bell, I want to thank you for your advice for citizens that will struggle to pay for the tax increase. Number one, move. All the children, this is just a thought I had, because of the grade banding. All the children living in these homes that leave because they have to move because they can't pay the taxes, they will be leaving their friends, and maybe forever, not just temporarily separated during the school hours. And you decided to change your oil to offset the tax increase. Some citizens, not by choice, will be giving up their car. So moving forward, it's always stated before the meeting starts, this is a business meeting. And it's about the teachers and the students of the month. It's very nice to know all that, but it's not business. So the videos, which are wonderful, I think they need to be presented at an assembly so all the students can, witness what's happening in the school with their teachers and their friends. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Public comment. Go ahead, Richard.
Good evening, Richard Bidnick, Lacey Citizens for Responsible Government. Over the course of the last year, we finally have been able to isolate why the school district has been so poorly performing. The answer is the majority of the school board members and the teachers union. Hearing Mr. Ryan, one of the union representatives at the last budget hearing, demand that the board do as he says, only proves the point. Where does an employee ever get off demanding anything from their employer? The school board likes to blame the state for all the district's ails. The teachers union likes to blame the parents. And the reality is the district's ultimate failings squarely falls on both of their shoulders. Here are a list of reforms the school district should make if they care about the district and the children. Return the right to vote on the budget to the public, where it squarely belongs. 2 years in a row, the majority of the board inflicted a 20% tax increase made by just 5 people is beyond an authoritarian position. You have broken the 2% cap law 2 years in a row. At this point, it's an abuse of power. The majority of you do not represent the mass majority of taxpayers who are stuck footing this bill, and the fiscal damage that 5 of you have done to this town is beyond an outrage. 2, firing the acting superintendent and hiring someone who has proven success of turning around an underperforming school district, such as a Michelle Rhee protege. If you have to increase the salary for a new super, do it to attract the best possible individual who has drive, determination, and focus, and who has courage because they're going to need it. Without a proven leader with the success rate sitting at the top, this district we are going nowhere, but continuing in a downward spiral. That isn't fair to all the stakeholders in our community. The students, the parents, and the taxpayers. We all want accountability and no excuses. Add performance evaluations attached to student achievement in the contracts for teachers with severe penalties with those not performing at the highest level. The teachers claim they care about the children's education. Well, let's take them to the task on that. And may I add that the behavior of many of the employees who have attended these public budget hearings has been outrageous, screaming at members of the public, banging on tables, and moaning and groaning, etc., is totally unacceptable of any person who calls themselves a professional. It's more like a bunch of spoiled children. And on top of that, to have that very animated teacher who misspoke about the power plant taxes that the town still receives. She stuck her tongue at me when she walked by me after her public comments. Her behavior was beyond pathetic. Grow up. Parents, you want to know why our schools are failing? Well, there you have it. Can we get some adults to work in this school district, please? 4, create a citizens committee for the budget, for the taxpayers to have an actual input on the budget process and a seat at the table. Since you want our money, we deserve proper representation, because maybe the taxpayers' goals for the school district are different than the 7 people on this board. Since it's so hard to get qualified individuals to run for office, I believe it's time for this committee to be formed. I have been speaking about this for years to deaf ears as our financial situation continues to deteriorate. 5, make all employees be subject to random drug alcohol testing. Please make this part of your contract negotiations. If you are going to be randomly drug testing students, it's time to do the same for the staff. I want to remind everyone of a teacher who was a meth addict, who was allowed a science experiment to go wrong, and the student was severely burned and spent several days in the ICU. I saw the pictures of her scars this beautiful young girl has to bear for the rest of her life. She sued the district and she won her case. This should never have happened. The teachers' union should want to have this in their contract to protect everyone. 6, add goals and objectives to all administrators' contracts, which are enforceable and must be met within a specified time frame. 7, let's start having all the principals teach at least one class to keep them sharp and up to date and to understand all the teachers are dealing with on a day-to-day basis. Managers who do this have a better perspective of the situation on the ground. 8, school board committee meetings should be open to the public, not done in private. If you have to add a 4th member to the board committee, do it. This is where all the planning goes on, and the public has a right to know. This is all about transparency. 9, privatize the school lunch program, save the taxpayers money, and give the students better food. 10, place cameras in all the classrooms for security purposes and so that the administration can monitor at any time what the teachers are doing and how they are teaching. Everyone should want our teachers to be performing at the highest level, and if you're not, you should not have a problem with this proposal. It is all about accountability. Thank you.
Anyone else? No? Oh, go ahead, Melanie.
Melody Pryor, Wickham Road, Crooked River. I've been to several meetings, several times. I've been crying about the taxes, falling on deaf ears. You know, I've heard some people say, wait until next November, wait next time, wait this, wait that. Well, now I no longer can stay here. My house was paid for in full. I worked my butt off my entire life, and now I can no longer afford my taxes. So now, in 2 weeks, I am leaving to find where I can go next. So it's really sad, and I've watched this town change. I've watched everything get sold off. I've watched this whole place fall apart, and it's really sad to have to say goodbye to here. I have a lot of good memories, but that's it. And I wish everybody the best of luck, and I'll be out probably within less than a year. So good luck to everybody, and I hope you guys straighten it out, figure it out, because it's a mess. Good luck.
Thank you. Oh, not yet. Anyone else like to have a public comment? We're going to go back to Mr. Rizzoli. Thank you.
Yes, back up my old friend, the microphone. Been here 30 years at this place, at this podium. And pretty much talking about everything that Mr. Bidnick had said, but maybe 10, 15 years ago. I noticed, I don't have the agenda in front of me, but I did look at it before I came. I'd like to know why we have a separate attorney. If we have an attorney here who's supposed to know his business, why do we have a separate attorney for special ed? You don't have to answer that. It's just it's more money. And if the current attorney who's sitting here is past the bar, you should know the laws of New Jersey. I don't know why we have more than one. Just a comment. I don't expect an answer. When I asked for the number of employees, I did it purposely because I knew I wouldn't get an answer. Because, as I said, I looked at the agenda before I came, and I've been here 30 years at this podium, so I know the kind of the tricks. It's on the agenda right in front of you, how many employees we have. But you choose to keep it secretive. The assistant superintendent gets $212,000 a year. You're going to vote on that tonight. The business rep gets $175,000. You're going to vote on that tonight. You should know the answers to this at that amount of money. Any company in the world who leads a company should know how many employees they have working for their company. It's simple. It's basic business. And if our leaders can't answer a simple question in public, that shows me that transparency is not working here. And it's a secretive thing. And that's a shame. That's a real shame, because the people in this town, many of them are suffering. Now, I happen to not be here all the time. But where I live, I happen to run into a person who sat on this board and served. And then that same person, okay, ran for a township committee and got elected. And that same person then got elected to the Ocean County, okay, Board of Commissioners. And he and I live in not more than a mile apart. We met each other in several occasions, and mostly in getting prescriptions, because we're old people, and that's what we do. His name is Gary Quinn. Have a nice night.
Regina, you want to finish up? Go ahead.
Regina DeSenza. While I do understand that Mr. Zelinski is trying to save a few dollars by not printing agendas anymore, I was wondering if people could pre-order a copy the day before a meeting. It's truly nickels and dimes being saved by not printing them. However, tonight's agenda is 50 pages. I don't like reading 50 pages off my phone with the QR code, nor do many other people. I've been bringing my laptop so I can see the agenda, but please at least post the guest password so I can sign on without asking for it every time it changes. I need to see several windows for attachments, minutes, the superintendent's report, and the agenda itself. So please consider printing agendas on demand. I would appreciate it.
Okay? Go ahead, you can.
Richard Bidnick, Part 2. Okay, Ms. Ormsby, I have a question. This is just a basic question about the tax cap bank, okay? So if you have, say, a couple of years, you only went and used 1.5%, you bank cap that other 0.5%, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so then there have been years, I remember when your predecessor was here, that he had to use some of that bank cap to pay for health insurance benefits and stuff. And the reason why I wanted to mention this is because Mr. Ryan, who is a representative from the union, brought up at the last budget hearing, and he was gaslighting the public when he was saying that, oh, we've been paying less because, you know, some years we used only 1.5% or whatever. There is that cap bank, and it has been used. So all that money under the 2% cap has actually been used, and that was misinformation that was being given out by the union representative, and I'm surprised it wasn't corrected at the meeting. It should have been for the public to understand how all of that works. So I understand the union wants to gaslight the public, but some of us aren't quite that stupid. So the other thing I wanted to mention was there was a comment today online about an article that came out from the Southern Ocean Times about the last budget hearing. And this gentleman by the name of Bait Dave responded, and he said, "Talk about falling on deaf ears. School board members just don't care about anything or anybody but themselves." And that's the end of the story. Talk about no kings. Look at what the local kings and queens are doing. We voted, most of us voted no, which they're talking about the referendum, which I would think that the school board would have taken the hint that the public does not support you, that we do not want high tax increases, that you need to start being accountable to we the people who pay the bills for this school district to even exist. And you know, as I said at the last meeting, you have to learn to live within your means. You can't destroy everybody else's life like this poor woman here who's having to leave because you can't get your financial house in order. And the public is listening to everything I'm saying because I know people are stopping me every day and they're thanking me for speaking up against you for what you're doing because it's disgraceful. The lack of morality and conscience on you people. Your only concern is the teachers' union because you're in bed with them. They own the majority of the swamp. That's what I call the swamp Lacey. And this individual went on to say, look at what the kings and queens are doing. We voted, most of us voted no. But that doesn't matter. The kings and queens of the school board know better than the small people. Take that for what it's worth and get your act together because we are just beginning this war, and I mean a war. And if you want to divide this town and you want us to really go to battle like that, when people are losing their homes, you have to start being accountable because you can't do your job and you won't make the tough decisions that need to be made. Thank you.
I'd like to just make one correction to what you said. Yes, we can bank cap, but not necessarily is it always used.
Okay, we're going to move on. Let's do board member reports, please. We'll start with curriculum. Ms. Walker?
Sure. Curriculum met this past week. In attendance was Mr. Amato, and Mr. Bell sat in for Mrs. Amato. And we had Mr. Bond, I don't know if he's here tonight, but he presented the final draft of the Comprehensive Equity Plan as required by the New Jersey Department of Education. It was approved, or it will be approved, and this is a 3-year plan, and it ensures that our district is equitable, boys and girls, race, that everybody is equal. The New Jersey Department of Education Focus Grant. This grant will provide the funds to implement a universal dyslexia screening as required by the New Jersey Department of Education. Mr. Zielinski talked about the changes in time for Lenoka Harbor School, which will begin at 8:15 a.m. and switch with Cedar Creek, which will begin at 8 o'clock a.m. Did I say a.m. or p.m.? A.m. We also discussed some of the reductions that will have to take place due to the reduced federal funding in certain co-curricular programs. We're talking about Title IV. The principals will meet to decide on the appropriate cuts. We have one student that we had a discussion to allow a high school student to graduate early, and that's on the agenda tonight. Mr. Zielinski led a discussion of funding priorities should any of the lost monies be restored to the district in the upcoming year. The curriculum committee requested, and we approved, the three of us thought that curriculum purchases were at the top of the list, or should be at the top of the list. I don't know, did the other committees talk about that, Kim?
I was absent in finance.
Okay.
No.
All right. Well, that's our recommendation to the Finance Committee.
Noted.
Mr. Bond shared the results of our special education monitoring that took place with the Department of Education. Mr. Bond stated there were several findings, minor findings that will be addressed by the district, but we scored well, so there will be no in-person monitoring required by the state. The technology department will move forward with the planned purchase of the 6th grade Chromebooks. That's on the agenda tonight. There's been a lot of, there's a lot of items on the agenda for board approval to request. This one is important. The committee has recommended that the board approve the request to name the high school tennis courts after a longtime teacher and coach, Charlie Ryder. As many of you know, Charlie's been dealing with a health issue for several years now. And he has been, is he the longest serving staff member, Mr. Zielinski, in this district? If not, he should, probably close, right?
He's close. He's not,
Yeah.
but he's close. And he retired last year.
Oh, he did retire?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to name the tennis courts in his honor. We discussed the facilities calendar to be approved tonight. We presented different contracts that are on the agenda tonight, and that's it. It was about an hour and a half meeting. So our next scheduled meeting is for August 11th, and hopefully we can start discussing some curricular programs for the district. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Bell, would you like to do policy?
We did not have a policy
Oh,
meeting.
that's right. No, it was canceled. Okay, Mr. Conity.
We had a finance meeting on Thursday, the 12th of June. Agenda items, interviews for the architect of record. Interviewed 4 firms, and they're on tonight's agenda. Talked about the middle school ROD grant. Have we received last year?
Yes.
The lowest bid came in $44,000 higher. In order to keep the grant, I recommend that we go ahead with that. The survey update, Ms. Ormsby had a discussion on that. NOLCAL, same. Spoke with the attorney tonight, actually, and the letter is 99% done, and will be sent out to them. Referendum, Ms. Ormsby had a discussion at the committee, and that she would be reaching out to the committee members. Ms. Ormsby had a discussion on the donation of air conditioning upgrades at Lenoka Harbor Elementary. To that person, thank you. Had a discussion about the repair of the solar panels at Mill Pond that we talked about 2 months ago and hang on tonight. Talked about a possible configuration to the parking lot at Lonoka Harbor School. Mr. Zelinski discussed that. Demographic study update. We reviewed all of that. Renewals, everything that's on the agenda tonight. Contract awards, Mr. Ormsby reviewed the contract awards that are also on here. Fund balance appropriation, reviewed the resolution for the fund balance appropriation. That will appear, doesn't mean that we are going to use it, and in the event that we do, it's there. Willens lawsuit, Mr. Zelinski discussed the possibility of the district joining a class action suit against social media companies. Insurance renewals, Mr. Ormsby previewed the final numbers. The ice hockey shared services, Mr. Ormsby discussed that. It's the same as every other year in the past. Food services, Mr. Ormsby had a discussion about the applicants for the food service director, and this will be on the agenda for tonight. Curriculum, there's nothing. HR, CD and SS arbitration. We had a discussion on the proposed settlement and language change. Mark Angelo settlement. Same as that. Mr. Zelinski had that discussion. The Class 3 officer contract to the township. Resolution is in for tonight. Technology, the Chromebook purchase that Mrs. Walker discussed. Had a discussion on that, and it's on the agenda, but there may be something happening with that. STEM laptop replacements. Mr. Ormsby had a discussion on the budget purchase for that. And then HAS 100 graphics lab replacement. Mr. Ormsby had a discussion on that. Transportation, nothing. And same as Ms. Walker, comprehensive equity plan, the LTA, June 20th discussion, professional discussion, and naming heights of tennis courts were all discussed, and meeting adjourned at 7:50 p.m.
Okay.
Can I ask a question about finance, please? I just want to confirm a few things. The meeting was on what date? June 12th?
Yeah, Thursday.
And I didn't hear who attended?
Sure, it was myself, Mr. Peters, Mr. Zelinski, Mr. Ormsby. Ms. Klaus texted me at 5 to 4 that she was not going to be able to make it.
Oh, because I received the cancellation for that meeting.
That was on Tuesday.
That was on Tuesday.
Okay, so as the alternate, shouldn't I have been given an opportunity to show up?
Like I said,
It was very last minute. I had food
she texted me
poisoning.
at
Okay, just checking, just
5 of, and I-
confirming.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It was originally on the 12th, and we moved it to that Tuesday, the 10th, that you were on, Sal. Then it got pushed back to the 12th.
Okay.
Okay, now we're going to move on to superintendent comments. if you have any.
Just two. Two letters that we received, or one is more of a notification. This was from Ocean County College. Congratulations on completing another academic year. Our partnership that we have with them, if you were misinformed, we've graduated over 150 students over the past 6 years from college before they graduated high school, a true testament to our hard work and achievement in our district. Just to note, just this year alone, our students saved $563,852 by participating in this program. It's a self-funded program. The students pay for their classes, our teachers teach the classes, and we make money from Ocean County College. They reimburse us for every class. Sounds pretty good to me. The other, more significant, we had our math program at the elementary and middle school program. And I have a lot in here. I'll go like the group awards. We're going to bring these students probably in September when we get them again, because it was pretty significant. We had third place was our fourth grade. Fifth grade was first place in Ocean County. Sounds pretty good to me. Sounds like we're achieving. So we're the #1 math crew in Ocean County for fifth grade, and we had a first overall in fifth grade with Leonardo DiCola. So he was the #1 math student in all of Ocean County for fifth grade. So we'll bring them back. We have a couple of good things for them to bring in, and we'll bring those kids probably in September. So those are just a couple of letters that I received lately. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now we're going to move on to board member comments. Ms. Walker, we're going to start with you, please.
Sure. Just very briefly, I just want to congratulate our soon-to-be graduates, our seniors, and wish them a lot of luck in their future endeavors, whichever field they're going into. I also would like to congratulate our first graders that made the books. Those books are, the two of us were still reading, and they took them away, but they're, it's such a neat thing to do, and we enjoyed reading them for sure. I have other comments, but I'm not going to make them tonight. I don't think this is the place to grandstand, so that's all I have for you, Kim.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Armato?
Sure, thank you. Last couple of meetings, I wanted to recognize one of our board members, and I never got an opportunity to do it. Back on May 10th, going into May 11th, starting on May 10th at 5:50 a.m., Mrs. Armato embarked on running 100 miles. She ran from Key Largo to Key West and completed the race in about 30 hours and change, marking her fourth completion of a 100-mile race, which now qualifies her to run 135 miles in the desert at a place called Badwater. So congratulations, Mrs. Amato, on a great accomplishment. I got to be there as I was her crew, and basically handing her ice and making sure she was safe, change of socks, change of sneakers, managing safety, managing whatever she needed to finish the race. So if you ever been in the Keys and you know how hot it is, and then you add the humidity, and then you watch these people run 100 miles, it's amazing. So congratulations to all that accomplished that race. We also had another member from Lacey Township, Guy Ewan, who ran alongside Mrs. Amato in this race. So what an accomplishment. Now I'd like to take a moment to address some recent events and provide both an apology and some much-needed clarity. At our last meeting, I was publicly accused by Mr. Sean Goodhart of leaking board information. That accusation mirrored something Mrs. Klaus had previously said to me in a private conversation, that I was sharing confidential information with Mr. Bidnick. The fact that both accusations came so close together felt more than coincidental, and in that moment, I let my frustration boil over. Kim, while I stand by my disagreement with what was said, I want to sincerely apologize for how I expressed myself. You did not deserve to be target of my frustration. My tone was inappropriate, and I regret that. We can and should have honest disagreements, but as board members, we have a duty to speak and act with professionalism and mutual respect, especially in challenging moments. I fell short, and I will do better moving forward. That being said, I do want to address something else that has been distorted and shared beyond its original intent. In another meeting with Mrs. Klaus discussing the budget, I used the phrase, "Maybe it's time that we tear it down and build it back up," referring to the need to re-examine how our district operates. That comment was later leaked to social media and was also indirectly referenced by our board vice president at the last meeting. While I wasn't mentioned by name, it was clear who the comment was aimed at. And I believe that kind of messaging, especially from leadership, is divisive and unproductive. So let me clarify what I meant. When I said tear it down and build it back up, I wasn't talking about tearing down our schools, our staff, or the heart of the community. I was talking about policies, systems, and practices, many of which haven't evolved in decades. I was expressing a belief that we can't keep doing things just because that's how we've always done them. Sometimes, in order to improve, we have to be willing to challenge outdated structures, rebuild stronger ones, and have difficult conversations about what's best for our district. Not what's most comfortable or politically safe. Throughout my tenure on this board, I've made it a point to vote based on what I believe is right, even when those decisions were unpopular. That won't change. I didn't sign up for this role to be liked. I signed up to serve. And sometimes that means making hard choices not everyone agrees with. I respect those differences, in my opinion, but I won't shy away from my responsibility to act with integrity and stand for what I believe serves the whole community. I also want to say this. Hoping that the state will one day fully fund us is not a strategy. It's a wish. And while I would welcome that support, I don't believe in sitting back and waiting for it. We need to look at what's within our control. We need to evaluate where we've been and think honestly about where we're going. That means reassessing how we've always done things and being open to change, even when it's uncomfortable. That is what I meant when I talked about rebuilding, not destruction, improvement, not blame, responsibility. That's what I remain committed to, and I hope we can move forward together with shared purpose, honest dialogue, and mutual respect. Thank you.
Mr. Bell.
Well, first of all, I'd like to congratulate all of our upcoming seniors on their accomplishments, and look forward to hearing about what they do in the future. I do want to just address a comment that was made about something I said. And Mrs. Miller, I do apologize if that did offend you, but in the context that I made these statements about moving, it was in reference to the voices we kept hearing about other states and other districts and other areas, and it was not a fix-all, end-all for people in Lacey's. It was, you know, if other places are doing such great jobs, why are you here? And we have the freedom to move, and that's the reference I made. I understand some may have taken it wrong, as if I was saying, if you don't like my opinion, get out. That's not me. I would never even imply something like that. And so I hope we can kind of move ahead in the right context, understanding that I don't necessarily want anybody to have to leave. And I did reference changing my own oil. Just for reference sake, I own an F-350 diesel. Holds a lot of oil. It costs a lot to get it changed somewhere else. It saves me a lot of money to do it myself. I wasn't saying everybody should buy a F-350 so you can spend a lot in oil. I wasn't saying that. But we might have to tighten our belts a little and do some things to make sure that we can provide for the community. And I do want to thank the board. It's been a crazy ride for a year and a half so far. But I truly, my wife knows this, I enjoy working with this crew. And even when we disagree, Sal and I have disagreed on things, then we walk out the door and we have an hour conversation in the parking lot. I'm thankful for people that I can disagree with, but we can still come together and work for the same goal. And so thank you all for just being part of my mentors.
Thank you.
That's all I have.
Ms. Armato?
Hey, everyone. I just want to thank everyone for their comments tonight, good, bad, or indifferent. I personally value everyone's comments. And Ms. Miller, I think these meetings make a lot of people nervous, so I don't think you're alone when you said that. And to all the young authors, we're so proud of you. I think a lot of them left, and I know the teachers left, but I really love their first grade Dream Team t-shirts. I think they're very cute, and I'm sure their students love them. Ms. Bentley, I want to thank you for all of your student achievement updates. They're really good to hear, and please keep them coming. And I want to congratulate the class of 2025. Your hard work and dedication brought you to this incredible milestone. No matter where life takes you next, continue to chase your dreams and never stop. Learning, the future is yours. And everyone, just have a great summer. That's all.
Thank you. Mr. Skip.
Mr.
Mr. Skip.
Could have been worse.
It could have been worse. I have no comment. Have a good evening, everyone.
Nothing? Mr. Conity?
Couple things that were kind of overlooked last month. Julia Kovacs as well pitched a complete game no-hitter, and she reached 100 strikeouts for softball. So congratulations to her.
Nice.
To all of the Challenger League athletes, seen gold medals and silvers. Congratulations. Scholarship winners, 440,000 in scholarships.
Yeah, that was nice.
Huge. So congratulations. To the Ocean County College graduates from here, I believe there was 21 this year. That's awesome, huge. Congratulations. And then to the class of 25, best of luck and welcome to the alumni club.
Thank you. So, Mr. Armato, I do want to address your comment. I wasn't going to say anything, but you did bring it up. Last board meeting was horrendous. It was terrible. We were accused, or I was accused, of backdoor deals and Open Public Meeting Act violations. The tone of, and I watched it probably 3 or 4 times, the tone that's coming out of the board is just not one that we can say, oh, well, let's all work together, if this is what you're presenting when there's a camera every time. It's aggression. I don't even know how to describe it. And I did hear your apology, but then I heard an excuse at the same time. What happened over there with a community member, he's not the only one that says this. If you look on Facebook, you'll see it over and over and over. It did not come from me. I don't call people in the community and say, oh, this is where the leak is coming. People make their own assumptions, they have their own minds, and it's out there. So true or not true, that's the perception that is being given. When you turned your focus on me for no reason, pointed at me, leaned over the table very aggressively, at that moment, I had every right to go to the police department to press charges. I could have moved forward with the attorney to have you censured. I didn't, because we do need to work together. But to say that the conversation that we had was not accurate, Sal, was totally wrong. I was on the phone, speakerphone, in the living room. My husband came out of the office because you were screaming at me on the phone. And I actually said to you, Sal, you're screaming, I need to hang up the phone because you were out of control. The same action that you did at this board meeting, out of control. So what happened on that phone call is when you said you wanted to tear it down, you did say those words. And I said, 3%, Sal, that's going to be 40 to 50 kids in a classroom. And you said yes. So don't deny that. Don't twist it. It is what it is.
I didn't deny it.
You did deny, you just denied it now. To tear it, you said you want to tear it down. 3% would have torn this school down. So it was no other intention but that. So I do want to work with you, and I do want to work together, but this has to stop. The tone has to stop. And I just don't understand why it's so aggressive all the time. It needs to end. The public doesn't want to hear it. We don't want to deal with it. Nobody does. So I apologize to the public for what you saw last meeting. After the meeting, if you were there, we're going to work to be better, I hope, because you guys deserve better than what we're giving you. And that's just what it is. So I'm sorry you had to hear that. All right, we're going to move on to resolutions. You ready? Okay, new business. Okay, page 2, A1, meeting minutes. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Amato?
I have to abstain from meeting minutes. Correct?
Just the one meeting.
Oh, just for one meeting
The,
on the 15th, sorry. And yes.
Thank you. Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mrs. Armato?
Yes, but abstain to the May 15 meeting minutes.
Thank you. Mrs. Walker?
Yes. Yes, excuse me.
Mr. Conity?
Yes.
And Mrs. Claus?
Yes. Page 2, A2, a list of bills. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, please?
Mr. Armato?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes, but I'd like to recruit to OCVTS 21210, please.
Thank you. Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mrs. Armato?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes, I'm going to abstain on bill number 955343, please.
Okay, there's two others.
Are we voting on 10 and 11 right now?
No, there's two others under E2. You have to abstain on.
I don't see, oh, I'm sorry, I do. This is like,
Smallest
Very
font
small.
ever.
Thank you.
Yeah. Sorry.
okay, yeah, you think? Also, I have 9513, I feel like I'm in the eye doctor's room. 951390.
Yep. Thank you.
Any help?
Mr. Conity?
Yes, but need to abstain on 955-136, 953739, 955339, 955343, and my employer 289-299, 283-300.
Thank you. Mrs. Claus?
Yes.
Thank you.
Page 2 to 3, A3 to 5, transfers, and S1701. It's hard to see. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion Peters.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Armato?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mrs. Armato?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Conity?
Yes.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes. A6 to A36, finance, and we are tabling number 33 on page 14. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Second Peters.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Armato?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mrs. Armato?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes, I'm going to abstain on A10, A11.
Thank you. Mr. Conity?
Yes, I'm going to abstain on A11.
Thank you.
What about A10? That's an
No.
ASA.
Yeah, you're
No?
okay with that.
Okay.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes. Can I have page 15 to 16, A37 to 44, technology, please? Roll call. Motion, please.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Armato?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mrs. Armato?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Conity?
Yes.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes. Page 17, transportation, A45 to 46. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion Peters.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Armato?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mrs. Armato?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Conity?
Yes.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes. Page 17 to 23, A47 to 64, annual adoptions. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Armato?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mrs. Armato?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes, but on item 48, I'm going to abstain on Mrs. Amos, Mr. Dowd, and Mr. Zelinski, please.
Thank you. Mr. Conity?
Yes, but I need to abstain on Mr. Ormsby and Mr. Zelinski on A48.
Thank you. Mrs. Claus?
Yes. Page 23 to 31, professional services. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Question. I have a
What
quick
is-
question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can we do RFPs for some of these positions? I mean, $2,000 for a psychiatric evaluation, $750 per assessment for students. I'd like to, next year, do RFPs for these positions, see if we can get something a little cheaper, please. It just seems kind of high on that pricing. A speech evaluation, $1,000. That's all.
A lot of money. Okay. Noted, Skip.
Thank you.
We good for roll call? Yep. Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Amato?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mrs. Armato?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Conity?
Yes.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes. Is that A81 to 82? Okay. Equipment and facilities. Can I have a motion, please?
Move.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Armato?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mrs. Armato?
Yes.
Mr. Conity?
Yes.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes. A83 to 87, tuition and transportation. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Armato?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mrs. Armato?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Conity?
Yes.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes. Page 33 to 34, A88 to 92. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Can I have a second?
Second, Peters.
Roll call?
Mr. Armato?
Yes, and thanks for the donations.
Mr. Peters?
Yes, and thank you.
Wait, we're not a donation.
No, we're not a
We're not
Oh, we're not
No,
doing that?
not yet.
Sorry.
Same page.
Two-way.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mrs. Armato?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Conity?
Yes.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes. A93, policy and regulations. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Armato?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mrs. Armato?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Conity?
Yes.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes. Page 34, early graduation. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion, Peters.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Armato?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mrs. Armato?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Conity?
Yes.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes. Page 34, 95 to 96, Hibbs. Can I have a motion, please?
Move.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Armato?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mrs. Armato?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Conity?
Yes.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes. Page 34, donations. Can I
And
have?
that's per the addendum. There was an addendum for this.
Okay.
The green sheet.
That's
God bless you.
the Lacey Football Foundation one? Okay. Can I have a motion, please?
I'll move.
Can I have a second? Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Armato?
Thank you, yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes, and thank you to everyone.
Mr. Bell?
Yes, and thank you.
Mrs. Armato?
Yes, and thank you.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes, and there's a donation here for $1,000 from an anonymous person to pay for lunch balances for some of our students. Wonderful, thank you.
Mr. Conity?
Yes, and thank you.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes, and I need to abstain from the Lacey Football Foundation. That donation was $10,000. Page 35, programs and curriculum. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion, Peters.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Armato?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mrs. Armato?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes, I have to abstain on a couple. E5.
We're not there yet. We're on C.
Oh, I thought you said,
C.
no? Okay, sorry.
It's okay.
Thought you said that.
Mr. Conity?
Yes.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes. Page 36, D, professional days and workshops and travel. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Armato?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mrs. Armato?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Conity?
Yes.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes. Page 35 to 42, E, certificated personnel.
And there's also addendum for number 4, 5, and 6 in this section.
Okay. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Armato?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes, and I'd just like to say thank you for the service of those teachers that were leaving, and good luck.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mrs. Armato?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes, and I have to abstain from E5, E7.
Thank you. Mr. Conity?
Yes, on E5, need to recuse on Ms. Ormsby and Mr. Zelinski, and E7 the same.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes. Can I have page 42 to 49, please? Non-certificated personnel, F1 to F7.
Also for an addendum on number 2.
Okay. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Amato?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mrs. Armato?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Conity?
Yes, but recuse on it. 7, Pacheco and Sealy.
Thank you. Mrs. Claus?
Yes, and we have a walk-on, non-certificated replacement position.
Excuse me,
Yep.
Mrs. Claus. I have down here E18 to abstain as well. Mrs. Malloy?
For non-certificated personnel?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
No.
E18.
Non-certificated.
I don't
Oh.
understand why,
Oh,
but,
She's out on this one.
huh?
Ed.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay.
Sorry, I missed that.
That's okay, it's okay. Ready for the walk-on? Yep. Okay.
All right, our walk-on is move that the board approve the following employment of replacement support personnel: Donald Gibson, food service director for the district, replacing Jay Remo at a salary of $70,000, effective date to be determined through 6/30/26.
Can I have a motion, please?
Bless you.
Did we get a motion?
No.
Can I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Can I have a second?
Second, Peters.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Armato?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mrs. Armato?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Conity?
Need to recuse, please.
Thank you. Mrs. Claus?
Yes. Okay, that's it. All right, meeting adjourned. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good.
Hope everything's